Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the California Angels and the City of Los Angeles, on the occasion of Her Majesty's royal visit, please welcome internationally renowned opera star Enrico Palazzo.
Hey, it's Enrico Palazzo!
You should have been pulled in the front, but they have faith in you. You should have been pulled in the fifth, but they had faith in you. And you said, oh, no treason, unknown fear, unknown reason, unknown reason. But yet time.
Utah!
What up, everybody? Michael Govier, Mike Virginia. It's a Fantasy Baseball Friday. Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's, up in your grill, up in the hood, up to no good. You ever see that movie, The Leprechaun?
Yes, very, very long time ago. Didn't they come up with like seven of those movies too? Like they came up with like Leprechaun in the Leprechaun in the Hood and a bunch of other ones, like just like crazy spinoffs.
That's putting it mildly.
That's exactly what I was thinking, my man.
Yeah.
There was a sequel, Leprechaun, Lep 2, Lep in the Hood, up to no good. Like Leprechaun 2, Lep in the Hood, up to no good. I believe or something like that. It's a really dumb title, but who cares? Because it's Friday. We're talking fantasy baseball today. Mike Virginia @ Mike VA. I'm at MJ Govier. Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's on Twitter.
Give me two.
And today we're going to be talking about, somewhere in the show, who will be this year's Aristides Aquino. Now, if you don't remember, Mike, first, do you recall what this is in reference to?
I do. When he went on that absolutely torrid stretch where he was just cranking out home runs left and right, and went on that just insane run. And I'm going to be honest, Mr. Michael Govier, I don't know where he's at right now. Is he still with the Reds? Like he's in the minor league system right now, or is he out of baseball completely?
I believe he works in real estate. He's a realtor now.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah. So
Great job.
didn't really work out for him. I think his last taste of the majors was 2 years ago, but I have no idea where he is. I have no clue what happened to him, but what I do know is that 2019 run was epic. But I had a hard time here, Mike. I could have gone with Aquino or the 2017 Rhys Hoskins run, which was also as incredible. He basically won me a couple of leagues in 2017. Again, this is the parameters. Both Aquino and Hoskins came up in August, and they crushed the last 2 months of the seasons with tons of dongs and just were real difference makers offensively. So I could have named it a double whammy, the Hoskins Aquino Tribute Award nominees. This is something I've been doing on the Patreon for a couple of years, so I wanted to bring it to the table to the masses today. And if you have nominees along the way, guys, let us know who will be this year's Aquino or Hoskins, somebody who's an offensive bat that maybe we're not. It's not like a known name necessarily, but if it's a known name, I guess that's cool. But I would rather try to find some guys that are a little under the radar who are going to really finish strong. And that's the goal of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like it, man. Let's do it.
I got a huge live chat brewing here today. We had some, Ben is here. Hey, Ben. Aquino's playing in the Mexican League. Okay, there you go. That's a good place to play. Isn't that where Trevor Bauer plays?
And Robinson Cano at like 45 years old, who was like hitting 400.
We're Bauer and Aquino were teammates in Cincinnati, I think, for that brief moment he was there.
Yep.
Interesting. Right. Now they're both playing the Mexican League. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Great job.
Ben's here, my local Detroit buddy. What's up, Ben? How you doing, brother? Our pet heads are falling off. Dumb and Dumber. I know that reference. Yes. Very, very good. And EA All Day couldn't make it today, Mike. So, hey, fellas, can't tune in live. So I wanted to sneak these questions in. Rest of season, pick one. Okay. EA All Day, you're a loyal, dedicated Palazzo pal. We'll do this for you. What do you think, Mike? Pick one. Rest of season. Jeffrey Springs, Hayden Birdsong, Spencer Irrigati, and Paul Blackburn. Head-to-head Cats with quality starts. Wins are not a main priority.
I'd say the ones that are standing out for me are Birdsong, and I'm actually glad that he brought this up because I'm interested to hear your take on it too. Mr. Birdsong got absolutely rocked. His head fell off.
What did I say?
Yeah, you did say that.
You remember what I said? Do you remember? I threw a little caveat when Britton was bringing it up last week. Do you remember what I said at all?
Well, I remember that you brought up the fact that he played the Rockies in back-to-back starts. So just to be careful that this wasn't going to possibly continue based off of the strength of schedule that he had so far. So, yeah.
Great job.
So for me, I'll just run through these really quick. Springs, I hasn't looked great yet. I don't think he's the Jeffrey Springs, and he's 32 or something like that. So he hasn't been the Jeffrey Springs we've seen thus far. So of these, I would probably say it's between Birdsong and Arrighetti. I'm kind of all over, like up and down with Arrighetti because he has these great starts where he looks just lights out, and then the other time he's striking out 12 guys. So Birdsong and Arrighetti are kind of in the same bucket or realm for me. So if I had to pick one, give me Arrighetti just on pure upside alone. I think he can help out in the strikeout potential, and hopefully he gets better. Maybe he's the Aquino of pitchers this year.
Ooh.
So maybe he can go on an insane run and get you some Ks there. So Jeffrey Springs and like even Shane Baz, like really quick, Michael. I want you to answer this question too. But what are you doing with those guys rest of season in a redraft? Are you holding or are you folding?
With these guys?
Springs and Baz specifically.
I read my Bible last night, and it didn't have any answers.
I apologize.
I wish it did, but it didn't give me any fantasy baseball answers, which is unfortunate because this is a tough one. This is really tough for me. But I was against Baz. I thought he was not going to be what everybody thought he was. He still has command problems. He still has problems with control and walks, not being able to go deeper into games. But he had a nice start against Texas, I believe. And I think we saw, even I was like, oh, okay, maybe he's going to heat up here, right? But look, St. Louis rips him a bit. Not great, 2 Ks. The Houston outing before that wasn't bad. And that Cincinnati start was pretty good. Mm-hmm. So I think Shane Baz is all right. I would hang on to him right now. See if I can get something more out of him here as he continues to be part of this stretch run for Tampa Bay. I think that's where I'm going with Baz.
Agreed.
Yeah.
What about Springs?
Well, Springs, he's just getting back in the groove here. So it could take a couple starts, and some people don't have that amount of time, right? Because where we are in the season, it's August 9th today, live here on the Plateau Podcast. So if you got to pull the plug on Springs, so be it. But sometimes being patient is rewarded. And if you get 5 quality starts out of Springs in the final month or so, is it worth waiting now for maybe 1 or 2 more bogus starts? That's the question.
And it's not even a guarantee that he actually turns it around this year either. So you could be sitting on a guy that continues to wreck your ratios, not get a lot of wins, quality starts, whatever we're talking about. So that's kind of where I'm at with both of them, because I think they both have control issues right now, and I think it's going to take us some time to build that back up. So I think if there's viable options on the waiver wire, I think you can go out and drop both those guys and be okay in redraft formats.
B. Henny says, I dropped Springs for Houck. What's up, B. Henny? How you doing, brother? Always showing the love on the Palazzo Podcast. B. Henny is.
Utah.
Might look back at Springs after this next start. I think this is a mistake, though. I drafted Tanner Houck heavily. I was all in on Houck this year. It worked out great, but I actually dropped him last week in a 12-teamer because I think the best has been gotten out of Houck this year. I really do. I think he struggled mightily over his last few starts, and I just think it was a great ride. In a 12-teamer, I could switch off and go somewhere else, and I did. So,
yeah, he's been bad over his last 3 or 4, maybe 5 games. I can't remember. I don't have any shares of him. Yeah, see. The
sheriff has spoken. We need a sounder for the sheriff, Eddie Buzz. What's up, Eddie? He's the sheriff of our live chat. Keeps everybody in line, and if everybody steps out of line, better watch out. You're gonna go Wyatt Earp on your ass, okay? But yeah, Houck is in a downward spiral last 5 weeks. You read my mind, Eddie. The juice has been squeezed out of that Houck orange. That's good. I like that.
What was answer on EA all day's question in terms of picking one pitcher rest of the season? Who do you like out of that group?
I still think it's Springs. I like Blackburn a lot. Okay, if you need Ks, I'm going Springs. I'm still going to go Springs. I believe he'll get it going. If you want a reliable guy good for ratios, then I'll go Blackburn. Yeah. I think Birdsong is young, and the Colorado starts made him look better than he was. He's a talented pitcher. He'll bounce back. He's just not a guy who's going to be striking out 12 guys a game very often. And Spencer Arrighetti actually I think Spencer Arrighetti can do that more often than Birdsong can do that, honestly. But those are two wildly inconsistent pitchers. And I would need to look further under the hood on Arrighetti and Birdsong, frankly, to really give you a clear picture for rest of season. So I'm going Springs for K's, Blackburn for ratios.
Yeah, well said on Birdsong and Arrighetti being wildly inconsistent. That's what you're getting. So for me, if you need K's, I think it's Arrighetti. If you need just solid ratios and quality starts, it's Blackburn. Well said.
Okay. Well, EAL Day has one more, and since he's been such a loyal, dedicated follower, we'll give it to him. Question 2. Have to bench one of these guys for now. Vientos, Burleson, Ramos, Wood, Lane Thomas head cats with OBP. OBP is important. Mm-hmm. Which one are you keeping on the bench? Thanks so much, and have a great show. You're welcome, EAL Day. If you're watching this later on the replay, we're thinking of you now, even though you're not here right now, but you're seeing this now. That's some memento shit. Watch out.
So benching one of these guys for me, I assume he's talking about Elliot Ramos of the Giants.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the Ramos?
He has to be.
Yeah.
Johan Ramos is no. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
James Wood, Lane Thomas. Lane Thomas hasn't been very good either. Man, this is a tough one for me. Honestly, for right now, if you're talking about just through the rest of this weekend, I'd probably go Lane Thomas, but I don't feel good about it. At least you're getting
Ramos is on a bender again, by the way.
Is he?
Last 3 games, multi-home runs, getting on base, stealing bags. He's eating up again.
Yeah. So I'm not benching him. I'm not benching Wood. Definitely not benching Burleson or Vientos. Yeah, that's Lane Thomas for me.
Wow. Is that really where you are? Is it, the Cleveland Guardians, they demoted my guy, Angel Martinez. I really liked his bat. He was excellent for OBP, but they demoted him. I do like his future. Angel Martinez for the Cleveland Guardians has a bright future. He's still only 22 years old. He showed a little bit of pop, getting on base consistently this year. Someone to look at when we get into 2025, Mike. Mike, are you ready to cover 2025 fantasy baseball?
Let's do it, man. Can I give you my reason for Lane Thomas?
Hit me.
He's 2 for 28 over the past 5 or 6 games or something like that. 2 for 28 is bad. He's not running either, so that for me that puts him in a spot from it's an easy call for me until he starts. I know Eddie's saying that Cleveland isn't a running team for stolen bases. I actually still think they rank in the top 10. They just don't run as much as the top guys like Cincinnati does. I think they'll let them start running a little bit. I think they demoted him down to the 5th in the lineup today. Who knows where he bats in the second half of today's doubleheader. But it's Lane Thomas for me, 2 for 28. He's on a cold streak. So if you're talking about just through the end of this weekend, it's Thomas, and it's not close.
Back.
What happened there? What was that? Is that Chris Berman?
It was.
Hayden Birdsong heard a lot of that the other
Yes,
day.
he did.
All right, there you go. Also, Eddie says it's got to be Elliott. It's got to be Elliott. Mm-hmm. I don't think so, man. He's eating up again. Hold on.
Yep.
Hold on to your genre there. Our pal Eddie also knows Robbie. Eddie and Robbie, do you guys know each other? Robbie's part of our show. Watch the Prospects Power Hour every Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Put wood on the pine, he says. Eddie says, I'm a big Nationals next auction. They run their asses off on that team. So next year, is that what he means? I'm going big on Nationals next auction. Okay, I see. That's fair. Cincy 2. Good call, Mike VA. Nailed it. Go VA, you got to do stand-up comedy. No, I'm not going to do that. I love doing the show with Mike.
Really quick on James Wood. He's batting .348 over the last 2 weeks, and even has 4 stolen bases there. So for me, Wood is on a bender too over the last 2 weeks. So I like James Wood this season. I think he could be a potential candidate for being the Aquino up pick. So.
Ooh, okay.
Yep.
Well, that's enticing. I mean, think about this. You got to think about what's happening next. And it's hard to predict the future. That's why we all tune in the show. That's why we do this show, right? We try to give you what we know best now to put our best foot forward later, right? It's not an easy thing to do. So,
yep.
It's a scary place out there.
That's right. Great job.
Great job. Oh, I just got rid of that button. I'll have to get it back. When asked what he wanted massage, Chris Berman said, back. Oh, Ben. Hilarious, Ben. ASMR, that water gulp. Oh, yeah, here we go. Just for you, Rob. You ready? That's good. Wood isn't going cheap in late March 2025. Oh, no shit. He'll probably have an overinflated value. I know it. I know how that shit works. I'm not paying it. Should I?
I don't know. Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, I think the last couple of months will be very telling between now and end of September. I mean, I think we roughly have, like a month left in the season, something like that. Regular season, at least. For fantasy baseball, I mean. So it'll be interesting to see how he finishes the rest of this year and where he's actually going to be targeted in drafts. Who knows?
Right. If let's say James Wood's ADP next year is 70.
I'm fine with taking him there. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It depends on who else is there and what my team build is. I hate being that guy, but I don't know. That's probably a little too rich for me because I would want to see it after his.
Don't be that guy.
Look at Corbin. I mean, we got the shoulder injury here too, but look what Corbin Carroll and like guys like Julio Rodriguez and the sophomore slump is real, guys.
It's a good point, man. You're right about that. That's a long ways away from now, though, so let's not freak out too much, right?
That's right.
Also, we got Robbie saying that he prefers. You're so funny, Robbie. I love your humor. It doesn't sound good to say bench Thomas when you can put Wood with Wood. Pine.
I got you now, Robbie.
Okay, I'm slow. Mopar says dribbling off the chin. I'm not going to dribble off the chin. I got a desk right here. I got computers. I got high-tech equipment here, okay? Sophomore slump is very real, says Eddie. Of course it is. Mopar Fest, Robbie. Yes, it's Robbie. That's him. Very perceptive, Sheriff. Ben says if he's even meh the rest of the year, the prospect pedigree is going to put him high.
Agreed.
Yep, that's what we're saying. Inflation, right?
Yep.
Charlie, what's up, buddy? How you doing, brother? Charles in the house. Hey, guys. Thoughts on Kikuchi rest of the season now that he's in Houston? I love it. I'm all about it, personally.
He's been throwing his changeup more in Houston, I think, and Britt and I talked about it last Sunday. They said, hey, you know that changeup thing you got? Throw that more often, and it's been working out pretty well for him. Another guy that's wildly inconsistent with Kikuchi, and maybe Houston fixes him, I don't know. But if nothing else, you're going to get Ks from him. But I still think he still has those blow-up starts left in the tank. I don't think that's going away. He misses bats for sure. And Ben's even saying the change and especially the slider. So he's throwing that more often too. So maybe that's something that that Houston's on with him in terms of like, hey, like throw those pitches more often. But you can see, like, look at those starts. The start against the Dodgers and the Rangers and the Mariners. Like, I just don't. And even with Texas and Tampa Bay, he still gave up, quite a bit of runs there. So I think if you need the Ks, I think that's something that you can get with Kikuchi. But I would not be surprised if he falls and turns back into a pumpkin. So.
And as Mike's pointed out many times before on the show, you can click on season stats on Yahoo right here and get the last week, last 2 weeks, last month. And I like him in Houston. I think they'll do a better job than Toronto did. I really do. Sure. And I think Kikuchi's might be a difference maker down the stretch. I truly believe that. He has the potential to miss a lot of bats. More consistently than Arrighetti and Springs.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Oh, he's talking to Rob over there. Ben says change and especially the slider, too. Thanks, Ben. These guys are talking on the side. Get out of here. Okay, so let me fire up the business time right quick here, if you don't mind. We love doing that here on the show. Palazzo Podcast, 2 Wills, 2 Z's. Oh, yeah. Let's get Mike. Hey, Mike, get fired up, man. Mike's had a long day today, guys. Everybody, get him in the groove. Make him feel good here. Everybody tell Mike Virginia how awesome he is right now. Please, put in the live chat. Everybody name one thing they love about Mike Virginia. I need that.
Oh, boy.
Because you deserve it, man. No, we can trust it. I believe in our live chatters. They love you. They've been around long enough to know you. Ben says, so I think Mike VA is going to be sad on my Aquino pick. Uh-oh.
Ooh, I can't wait for this one.
Govier is a little berry. No, I don't. It's all. This is all a mirage. It's just the mic. Like, eat an Arby's. Coming this summer. Arby's versus Wendy's. Only one meat will triumph. Yeah, I'm just.
You did that pretty good.
Well, I'm taking advantage of the text here. There's something on this Rodecaster Pro. By the way, if you don't know what it is, a Rodecaster Pro is it's like a 1.5 feet by 2 feet box looking thing. It's got 4 channels, and it's got multiple channels for Bluetooth, and all the sounders, like
Utah,
give me two.
Give me two.
And each channel has a mic. My channel, you can put this thing called Big Bottom on it, so it makes me sound a lot deeper than maybe I really sound in real life. Then you'll meet me and be like, "Hey guys, I'm Mike Govier. Nice to meet ya." Sound like Alvin the Chipmunks. Anyways, Mike, so you did a Twitter Spaces last night?
I did, man. And Britton came through. It was fun. I know some people prefer the Twitter Spaces. At least I've heard from some folks prefer it that way and like grabbing the mic and coming on and talking. So Jamie stopped by for a little bit towards the end. It's fun because we don't just talk about fantasy baseball. We talk about just baseball in general too, which was fun. So like I was watching the O's game yesterday live during it, and we had some people come in, ask their questions, ask for.
Was there any home runs?
No.
Okay.
Actually, yes. It was Colt Kauser. Oppo Taco.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oppo Taco. All right.
Right. So yeah, it was fun. I start doing them Thursdays at 7:30. I'm 2 out of 3 so far from when I said I was going to do them, so that's good. Next Thursday will happen again. So those of you guys who like the Twitter Spaces, I'll keep doing them if you guys keep showing up. And for those of you guys watching, I'll be better about posting them on Twitter so you guys can mark it on your calendars. But join me next Thursday, 7:30. Who knows who shows up? Britton showed up. Sometimes Davey Funnel pops in there too. So it's fun. And who knows? Might get some other people popping in there. So come join, hang out, talk. Don't talk, just learn. Or just talk shit and talk baseball. We can talk about anything you want. I don't care.
Palazzo. Excellent. Very good. Very, very good. Okay, I'm going to hold Ben's thoughts. I don't want to ruin your day. By the way, Eddie says, I like the headboard in the background, Mike VA's setup. That's where the magic happens, right, Mike?
or lack thereof. I'm just kidding, honey. I love you. This is
of course you do.
This is a guest room. So this is actually what we call the sick room. So when people are sick in my house, they stay in this room. But it also has like my little pop-up desk in here too, and I need to get work done and not be bothered by anybody. So yes, this is where the magic happens, but it's work related, not not the real magic. Wink, wink.
How often are people sick at your house that you have a room called the sick room?
Well, not often, but like I'm saying, like if I'm sick or my wife's sick, my mother-in-law was staying with us for a little bit, so she'll come in here sometimes, So it's one of those things too where we don't like to get anybody else. Say COVID was the sick room during COVID, so when somebody you quarantined in this room, if you will. So it doesn't happen often. I'm just saying this is what happens when people go when they're sick. So if you come over to my house and you spend the night and you're sick, this is where your ass is sleeping.
Got it. Okay, I just thought maybe you were bringing in road-weary travelers who are sick. Like it's the 1800s.
That
Come
happens
in.
too.
It's like Quentin Tarantino's Hateful Eight. Who's the next asshole coming in here? Who's sick? Come on in.
Right.
Stay with us. You guys are just so kind. So kind. Eddie says, kind of like Kathy Bates and James Caan in Misery. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's, she won the Academy Award for Best Actress for that role, by the way.
There you go.
Charles says, we be there next Thursday night. Mike V, home for good.
Nice, man. Congratulations. I don't want to air out Charles and stuff, but Charles has been going through some stuff. Charles, pulling for you, buddy. Thanks for tuning in.
You didn't keep it a secret. I mean, it's the same issue, right?
Yeah, same issue. At least from what I've been told. So appreciate you being here, buddy. Thanks so much. And obviously appreciate the support. Always hit me up on Twitter. Come to the shows. You're the man.
You are a good man, Charles. We're very happy for you. And we got a special note.
This is Theodore from Alvin and the Chipmunks, and you're listening to my favorite fantasy baseball podcast, the Palazzo Podcast. 2 L's, 2 Z's.
That's right.
There you go. It's just for you, buddy. Doghouse, Mike. You're in the doghouse too? Oh, B. Henny's in the doghouse, huh? You know what? I don't like that doghouse talk. It's so lame. What kind of marriage you have where you got the fucking doghouse? Sorry, B. Henny, I love you, and no disrespect to you. Yeah. But if there really is a doghouse going on, you need to work on that marriage, my friend.
Let me tell you something. I was so glad you mentioned that because I was just getting ready to say the same thing. There is no doghouse in my house. If my wife's pissed at me, I'm still sleeping in my own damn bed. Let me tell you that right now. So, we'll work on it tomorrow. I'll go to bed. But we sleep in the same bed. We don't do that. We don't play that shit.
Yeah, again, no disrespect, buddy, but maybe this is an opportunity for you to turn your marriage around. And if you're just joking, then he's joking. Sorry. Yeah. He's kidding. Okay. Yeah. Well, here on the Palazzo Podcast, we do a lot of jokes. We also talk fantasy baseball and, of course, fantasy football. We're going to get that rolling here, I swear. God, my life is so busy. But it's no excuse. Everyone's busy. There's just never an excuse. But I'm really hoping this weekend, a massive dedication to fantasy football study will take place, and I will come out the other side, and me and Mike will hopefully do a show next week, maybe. Let's finally get this thing rolling, because preseason started. We had a bunch of games yesterday. I don't care about that, of course, but do you see the Panthers plane slid off the runway on their arrival?
No, I did not see that. Wow.
Yeah. They're fine. Everyone's cool. Everything's okay. But I was thinking, it got me thinking, and I was taking a dump when I was reading this story. So, I had a lot of time to think because I'm very constipated. But I decided, would they cancel the NFL season if one team had a tremendous, worst case scenario, like the Marshall football team in 1970? Would they? And then imagine how people, I could see them canceling a season for real. And then I could see people getting really pissed about it too. Like, oh, come on. I'm telling you, it would be a fucking shit show for all shit shows. And I don't want it to ever happen, but it was a fascinating kind of discussion point.
The game, the Bengals and the Bills, what's the dude's name? The safety got hurt.
Yeah. How can we forget his name? I mean, he was on TV every day for 6 weeks straight. Hamlin.
Damar Hamlin. Damar Hamlin, I think is his name, yeah. Unpopular take, I thought they, should have played that game that day, and I thought they should have made up the game as well. I know that's not popular.
Whoa.
Yep, I thought they should have played that game. I don't understand why they canceled it, didn't make it up. Especially with how money hungry the NFL is, I was actually quite surprised that they didn't make it up. I thought they'd play it on Sunday at 1 o'clock in the morning just to make money. But yeah, I thought they should have played that. So if that happened and if they canceled the whole NFL season, they wouldn't do that. There'd be too much money lost for them. So.
Palazzo. Well, his name's Mike Virginia, and you can send all tweets and commentary at _MikeVA. And you can find him in our Discord too, which is free 24/7. Description of our show has the link. Also for the Patreon, 3 bones just starts at $3. We got football betting season and fantasy football kicking up into gear. It's a great time to jump in. I want to shout out to somebody who signed up the other day on our rookie $3 level. Congratulations to the newest member of the Palazzo Podcast Patreon, the one and only Tim, not Tim Michael, but Tim Paget. Welcome. Thank you. We're so glad to have you, man. You're a good American. And even if you're not an American, we're going to give you the honorary title of a good American. Okay?
There you go.
Isn't that great? It's a part of the package with the Palazzo Podcast Patreon. Pretty neat.
Yeah.
So thanks, Tim. Good to have you aboard. A lot more content to come. Hang in there. If you're pissed already, tell me. And just tell me what you're pissed about. And we'll try to remedy any situations. We aim to please. We're here to help. I mean,
that's true. How do we do that?
I mean, we want to do our own show, but we serve at your pleasure. So. Yeah. Anything else you of course we got the Sunday show 12 noon Eastern, Waiver Wire Fabulous live show, Mike and Britton doing their thing. You guys will be live Sunday at 12 noon Eastern. Only got so many of these shows left here as it's August 9th.
Yep. And we'll start talking about some other things too. Britton and I were talking about it off air, talking about doing some things in terms of getting people ready for the playoffs. So some of the guys that we're going to be recommending to pick up, whether they be starters, whether they be relievers, whether they be hitters, is going to start factoring in. And we do this anyways, but we're going to start factoring in, playoff time, where they're playing at, if they're playing in Coors, if they're playing the White Sox. Those things matter, especially now. Get in the habit of doing that now, so when we get to playoff time, obviously we have a better shot at winning some gold, bringing home the dough. All right, so make sure you guys tune in Sunday, 12 Eastern. That is true. Thank you.
This guy right here. There he is. God damn it, I can never get that right. Okay, very good. Thank you, Mike. And there's a lot of good stuff out there. Follow our Triple Play buddies. Check out my friend. I do a show called the Cinema 9 Podcast, We just did our 200th episode. 200 episodes, 200 movies in the can. So if you like movies, check out my show. I never promote my other shows on this show for some reason, and I've been doing this for a long time. That's terrible promotional marketing on my part. And
That's putting it mildly.
just want to let you know, we did 200 episodes, and my partner on that show, Eric, is making movies. He's making short horror films. They're really good, too. They're getting rave reviews. He's made like 4 in the last year and a half. And if you want to check those out. Yeah.
When you said movies, I was like, whoa.
Yeah, right? Movies.
Yeah.
For real. He's putting together some films himself. So check out Slithery D Productions. I think it's, again, we have a link for some of our friends and pals that we relate to or we want to push on the YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe to the YouTube, please. We're stuck at 841. We've been here for a little bit. We need to push through and crack 850, guys. We can do this. I know we can do this. Help a brother out. That's right. And while you're there, follow our pals like Triple Play Fantasy and Tigers Minor League Report. They do excellent work. Rogelio, Chris, Dayup, everybody over there, really solid work. Please give them a follow. And you can get, Ben and Robbie are our prospects gurus. That's why they do the Prospects Power Hour. But if you want to know who's who and what's going on with the Tigers organization so you can get ahead of the game in your dynasty leagues or your FYPDs as the offseason approaches because you got a dynasty team that sucks and it's in the shitter and you got no hope for the future except that you're building for next year, check out Tigers Minor League Report. I could think of no greater marketing tool than that.
Right.
Okay? Okay. There you go. Yeah, that about does that here. All right, let's get into leading off.
Good. Our first catch of the day.
Yes, our catch of the day. So I would like to say a word about Adrian Del Castillo. Now, he was called up by the Diamondbacks. This guy is he's a power hitting catcher. He's only like 5'10", 208, but that's perfect catcher size too. He's not too big. And he was dominating the PCL this year. He was a second-round pick of the Diamondbacks a couple years back, and he's grown from each level now. And I really think that this guy gets regular playing time. He could be a difference maker down the stretch. I'm not saying I'm nominating him for the Aquino Award today. I'm not saying that necessarily yet. I'm just letting you guys know, put a spotlight on a guy that I think could really make a difference down the stretch. With Gabriel Moreno having that adductor issue, it's a real problem. Mm-hmm. And their other catcher, Herrera, is just, he's totally a classic. Who is he a classic? Think of a catcher.
Maldonado.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, that's good. I was thinking of this guy who used to play for the Cardinals, the baseball card I had in the 90s. It was Tom something. And he was just the classic example of a boring-ass catcher who does nothing exciting, but it doesn't mean he's not reliable. So, now.
There you go. Next up.
Think of this. Charles says, 5 more days until Lawrence Butler turns into a pumpkin. It's August 16th, but yes, very good. Right, Govier? Have a good night, everyone. See you, Charles.
See you, bud.
What's that? Are you hearing that?
Yeah, I did.
I wonder why that happened. That's weird. Not sure what that was. Are we dying? Is there a fire? Is this building burning down? Anyway, it's a different life when you live in a 14, 15-story building. You're trusting that everybody else won't set the place on fire.
That's very true. I didn't even think about that.
Oh.
Yeah, it's kind of terrifying when I think about it.
Yeah.
Anyways, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. Anybody else you want to highlight right now, Mike, that we should highlight?
And Ben, if you're still watching, I apologize, man. And this is not, if you can see here, my little white bubble underneath my name.
There it is. He got it right. I'm sorry. That's Tom Pagnozzi. That's it. Of course, Ben got it. That's exactly the guy I was thinking of. Tom Pagnozzi, boring ass St. Louis catcher. Thank you, Ben. You always come through with those names.
I want to talk about the Brewers really quick. I don't think enough people are talking about just how amazing of a feat it was over the past the 3-game series they had. Over 3 games, 52 hits. Does anybody understand how insane or how unreal that is? 52 hits.
15 times 3, 45.
Plus 34 runs over 3 games against the Atlanta Braves. That is an insane feat. And the Brewers aren't like the Dodgers. They're not even the Braves. They had guys going 3 for 4, 4 for 5, 3 for 4, 3 for 4, 3 for 4. I mean, just constantly. Like your guys like Contreras, Adames, Rhys Hoskins. Like this is something to look out for here, Gove, too. Like, are the Brewers possibly, like, I don't know where they are in the standings, so I should better check this here for a second. But like, could you see them being one of those sleeper teams that just finds their way into the World Series, kind of like how Arizona did last year? Like, nobody was picking the Diamondbacks to make the World Series, but like, could you see the Brewers potentially get into the World Series with just the guys that they have? Maybe the rotation probably doesn't get them there, but they have a pretty solid bullpen too once they get everybody healthy, right?
Absolutely. I mean, they've been good all year. I mean, they've been the best team in the NL Central, right?
Yeah, they're leading the Central by 7 games, so they're in the playoffs. But 52 hits, that's insane to me. And Ben's saying it too. It actually was historic. No team had ever put up a line like that in 3 games. I don't think enough people are talking about it. It's astounding to me too, because we're not talking about like guys like the best hitters in the world. We're not talking about like the Freddie Freemans and the Mookie Bettses and all the rest of these guys. I just couldn't believe it. It was one of the coolest things I've seen in baseball in a long time. It's cool to see that in one game when they put up 16 runs on like 20 hits. It's different when you see it 3 consecutive games in a row against a good team like the Braves. So shout out to the Brewers. That was fun as hell.
Absolutely, that is fun. Great call.
Yeah. Here we go. Do you have this on the soundboard?
Oh God, where are we? I'm doing so many things. Insane in the Membrane.
Takes.
Insane fantasy takes. Yeah, sure. We got insane fantasy takes. That's always available 24/7. But that was an insane run. And the Brewers are a team that they just keep producing. And, Willie Adames has been quite good this year, right?
Mm-hmm. He's been really good. And guys like Contreras, Rhys Hoskins is kind of under the radar as well. He's actually having a pretty decent season for them, too. So, William Contreras, or is it Wilson or William? I always get him mixed up.
Wilson's on the Cardinals. Williams on the Brewers.
Got it. He's arguably, like, where are we drafting Contreras at next year in catchers? In terms of catchers, like, is he a top 3 catcher off the board? Top 5?
Top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he was really hot and then he came back to earth, but he's a guy who'll give you a 120 to maybe a 130 WRC plus every year, which is above average. And he can hit for power. He's an excellent offensive catcher. He's a top 5 offensive catcher, no doubt.
Yeah, agreed.
Right? I mean, after that, obviously, is Adley the absolute number 1, or am I missing someone?
Yeah, probably between him. Will Smith is probably in that conversation for the Dodgers, although he's kind of tapered off a little bit too. But just based off of the lineup, I think he's got to be in the top 3 for sure.
Oh, Bryce Terang takes issue with your comments, VA.
He hasn't been very good.
He's been on hard times.
Yeah.
Poor bastard. Yeah, well, hey.
Insane fantasy takes.
Why you taking that player?
Insane fantasy takes.
Why you taking that player?
This is the way to dance back in the day. You just kind of like shoved your face in front of people and put your arms up, and go back and forth. That's all you got to do.
That's right.
It works.
That's right.
Sal Frelick is a guy that I was really hopeful would have a good 2024. And he got in a little bit on the action. He had a 4-hit game on the last game of the series, but he didn't party the whole series against Atlanta. Right. And I don't know what it is about him. Maybe it's still part of the process. He's growing. He's learning. He's a Flintstone kid, 10 million strong and growing. But I used to love that. 10 million strong and growing. Flintstone kids, yay! They were basically just candy. I mean, what the fuck were in those things? It was candy.
It definitely was. I remember eating those things, like popping them like candy, and my mom's like, "What are you doing? Those are like multivitamins. You can't just OD on vitamin C, D, and riboflavin."
Oh no, riboflavin! Shit. Oh, riboflavin, the fascinating thing that it is. So here's Sal for the season. No power. Obviously, the steals are nice, and the average is solid. That's a solid batting average. But in this era where batting average is a little more commonplace, it's not as ideal.
Yeah.
But look at the profile. Everything looks... I mean, he doesn't hit the ball very hard. I get that, but 16% K rate, 9% walk rate. I think next year will be a better year for him. I really do. I'm not dead on him by any means. He's a left-handed bat, and I think he'll have a nice 2025. Maybe he'll finish strong here, too, and that'll boost his ADP for next year.
Who do you prefer rest of career, Garrett Mitchell or Sal Frelick?
Oh, see, I'm definitely on the Frelick bandwagon versus Mitchell, and I always have been.
Yeah, I think I'm with you.
I'm
on
going to stick with it.
Yeah.
You're with that?
Yeah, I'm with that.
Okay, you're with that.
I think it's better upside.
2 homers, 22 RBIs is hard to play even in an 18-team league. Yeah, I know. I know, Eddie, okay? Just because of the sheriff doesn't mean you need to rub it in my face. Profasho? Is that from Superbad?
I'm
Superbad?
Joe.
Yeah. For show. He's trying to show off by saying for show. Do we see Yelich back this month? I thought he was kind of screwed. Do we? And if they're a playoff run, why the hell would they want to bring him back if he can be healthy for the playoffs? Because I thought he was in real trouble.
Well,
surgery was like a thing, and
yeah, he said Wednesday, quote unquote, he's not 100% decided that he will undergo off-season back surgery, and if he does, he doesn't believe his availability for the start of 2025 will be in jeopardy. So I don't think we see him back. I mean, I know he wants to play, but that back injury is for real. If we do see him, it's probably not going to be much later in the season because they're going to want him for the playoffs, and they're going to let him. They're winning without him. Clearly, I mean, shit, they hit 52 fucking times over 3 games, so they don't need him. They don't need to rush him back. If we see Yelich, it'll be late September or right before the playoffs. I think is when we see Yelich if he comes back.
Okay. Locking you in. Nice work. If you were getting Chandler Simpson steals, that power could be livable. Do I even know what that means?
I don't know.
I don't know idea what that is, so I'm a loser.
Who's Chandler Simpson?
He's a Tampa Bay outfielder in the minors.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah, I remember.
A name to keep an eye on. Chandler Simpson. If Ben says it, he knows what he's doing.
This. Sorry, buddy. Here's the thing here, Ben. The reason why I'm bringing it up too is that there is the part of this is because I'm playing a guy in my league who's got a horseshoe up his ass, and he owns 3 of these brewers. He owns Hoskins, Adames, and Contreras, and they've been literally kicking my ass all week. And one of my league mates is rubbing it in my face. So, so that's part of the reason why I brought it up. So there's some sour grapes on my end as well here, Ben. So I wish, like when the Braves were playing, I'm like, all right, Braves, let's go. Like Charlie Morton's gonna mow him down. And he got his ass rocked. So this is sour grapes. I wanted you guys to kick their ass. I really did. And I'm pissed that they hit 52 hits. So sorry.
I'd buy that for $1.
I love that laugh.
I know that guy. If you remember the movie RoboCop, of course.
I'd buy that for $1.
And then this old man sitting in a party store who's about to get his whole store blown to bits by this scumbag. By the way, the scumbag in that party store scene where RoboCop is going on like his first patrol, he's kicking everybody's ass.
Yeah.
So this scumbag has this machine gun, basically, and he turns around, he looks at RoboCop, and he goes, "Fuck me. Fuck me." And they start shooting every time. Fuck me. Fuck me. It's just so funny. Never has a movie been so violent and hilarious at the same time. God damn, I love RoboCop is absolutely one of my all-time favorite films. Always has been, always will be. Love RoboCop.
Who wins in a fight? RoboCop or Arnold Schwarzenegger's Terminator?
Ooh, there was a great game for the Sega Genesis called RoboCop versus Terminator. That game was awesome. You went head to head. It was RoboCop versus Terminator.
That's why I brought it up.
Oh, okay. I call RoboCop just because I'm partial, but the Terminator might be. He's not a man. I mean, he's not even a cyborg. He's just he's a robot. He's a I guess. Yeah. Well, I guess he is a cyborg. He got the human skin on him, but I'm thinking of the Terminators that are just the raw metal without the human skin. So,
yeah.
Patty's here. Hey, Patty, have a good weekend, guys. Good to see you, buddy. How's the season going over there in the Molson Triple X League? Are you getting ready for the playoffs? Are you going to win? Me and I've done podcasts for multiple seasons of Patrick's Fantasy League called the Molson Triple X League, so I'm very invested and familiar with it, and it's a lot of fun. That's cool stuff. You guys ever want that in the off season? Draft reviews. We do shows. I think it was like $50-$60, and we do a show together, and we cover your whole draft. We break every team down. It's a lot of fun. So if you guys are interested in that next year, mark that down. Come back to me. Hit me up. Okay.
Nice job.
Great job.
I'd buy that for $1.
Okay. I won't hit it again, everybody. I just hit it one more time. Is Martinez now the closer in Arizona? What? Martinez?
Yeah, probably.
No.
You're right. probably for right now. I've said this, and we talked about it on Sunday's show too. Lovolo already said that he's giving Seawald a break from the closer's job. All right, so what's going on?
This guy's the closer now, Justin Martinez. Nobody was floating this name around. Last week it was Ryan Thompson.
Yeah, it's probably him for right now. I think Seawald gets that job back later this month. I really believe that. Tavolo already said that he's taking a break from Seawald as the closer, which one would think that, hey, like he's going to get it at some point. I really do think they want Seawald to be the guy there. And I would not be surprised if he got it back as soon as next week. So Thompson's good for short-term saves right now. Not Thompson, sorry, Martinez.
So Puck's not getting the job?
Too. No, I mean, they're going to mix and match, too. I think they like Puck where he's at and currently like playing the matchups, strong lefty out of the pen. Thompson's still going to get his share, and Martinez is going to get some looks too. So, because Thompson has that funky delivery, like that 3/4, like submarine-ish delivery thing he's got going on. So maybe they want to give him a different look. Maybe it's leverage situations. I think it's a mess in Arizona, but Seawald will get that job back. I promise you.
Okay,
lock it in.
Well,
lock it in right now.
What about AJ Puck though? I want him to have the job.
No, he's not getting it. He hasn't gotten. I don't think he's gotten one save opportunity yet. I think they brought him in for like one more out because Thompson was shit in the bed and he got it and ended up getting the save. But I don't think he's a guy that's going to get it at any point. Who knows? Maybe if Seawald continues to falter and Martinez sucks, Thompson doesn't get it done. Maybe they say, all right, Puck, you can have it.
This is America, Jack.
It is.
It is true. It is America.
I only play this because E-Week 2K says, when I say the boy has got his own money, I mean the boy's got his own money. John Amos, Coming to America. Great movie, of course.
Yes.
And then Eddie's jumping in. That boy good. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Randy Watson. Yeah, Randy Watson. Yeah, it's so funny. So funny. That's a classic comedy. It's top 10 comedy, of course. Yep. And I love that you guys are jumping in with that stuff. Oh, Mariners fan here. Seawald's a bum, Mike. Uh-oh.
He's not a bum. Yeah, stop, Yui. Come on.
Yeah, come on, guys. Don't be rude. We have so many wonderful people here. There's no need to disrespect anybody here. Eddie says, I run a live auction in New York City. 18 teams, $1,000 entry fee. Okay. Wow. Eddie, if you're doing so well in life, maybe you could throw us just a few bucks. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it seems like if you're doing $1,000 entry, I mean, you're not struggling, right? So am I entitled to your money? Is that correct? Is that how America works?
Yeah, I think it's how America works.
Where's the feedback coming from? I've never had feedback on the show. Very strange. Palazzo Podcast here, 2 L's, 2 Z's, Mike Virginia, and MJ Govier. Follow everybody in the Palazzo Galaxy of Stars. Big Gentle Ben, of course. Robbie Baseball, Sam Wershing, Sam FBB1, and the legend himself, Britton Allen, 2 T's, 2 L's.
Give me 2.
On Twitter. Now, the Pirates have an issue in their pen, right? So this Bednar is a Pittsburgh native and a fan favorite, but that doesn't mean he's the guy anymore to have in that bullpen. Because E-Week 2K says, why do the Pirates keep rolling Bednar after Chapman keeps throwing over 100 miles an hour?
We talked about this last year. Look what happened when David Robertson was in the Texas role and Chapman came in and absolutely doo-dooed the bed. I think Chapman at this point in his career, I think it's a mental block. He just sucks in the ninth. He does really well in the 7th, 8th innings where he doesn't have the oh shit moment of trying to win games for teams. So I don't know if they're willing just to hand off the closer role to Chapman. I think you might see some splits here and there, but I think it's still Bednar's job.
Just let your soul glow.
Yeah, let it grow.
Pro for show. Oh, Eddie says, send me the link to your $3 subscription. I can afford it. Hey, great. The Patreon link is in every show description. If you want to join, we also have $7 and the $15, which gives you direct access. I give you my phone number. We personally chat about your fantasy team anytime you want. I'm basically yours for $15 a month, which is the greatest deal in history. I mean, it's insane. Think about the actual time and the money. If you average it out, I mean, it's ridiculous. So, yeah. Just saying. EB2K wants to kind of define what he was saying. That Seawald is a fine human being, deserving of respect, but he will blow baseball games. Your team is counting and paying him to win. Okay, thanks for the clarification, brother.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Well, we have to share some nominees here. That's something we should do. We'd love you guys to get in the live chat now and kind of share who you think could be the Aristides Aquino of 2024. It doesn't mean there's going to be one either.
Yeah. You ready for mine?
Oh, yeah. You ready? Okay. Hang on a minute. Wait. Let me set this up here. Hold on a minute. Hold on, everybody. I want to make sure this is done right. We don't want to let anyone down here. We want to have proper dramatic pauses and effects for maximum entertainment value. Reese Hines, dude, it's over, dude. That was like a 1 week dream. It was a 1 week peyote trip.
Baby. Yeah,
that's all there was. Okay, Mike, who will be this year's 2024 Aristides Aquino?
You gonna pause it? Are you gonna pause it, or do I hear that?
Oh yeah.
How does that happen?
There's not a crash symbol at the end of that. I need to update that. That's from a long time ago.
Wilyer Abreu, Boston Red Sox. That's my pick. That's what I'm going with.
Oh, you son of a bitch!
But it's worth noting that he does not face many lefties. So, and he's in the lineup today. And I actually picked him up in one of my leagues because he was dropped. And he's facing six righties. But the dude has been on a torrid stretch. I love the power, especially within Boston from the left side, hitting in that short porch around the pesky pole there. So Wilyer Abreu is a guy that I really, really love, not just because of this call for this bit that we're doing. I also like him rest of season as well, so long as he's facing a right-hander. And I actually think he might start getting some run against left-handers as well, so long as he keeps hitting. So Wilyer Abreu is my number one guy. I do have another guy too, but I want to let Govier put his 2 cents in this bit as well.
I love Abreu so much. I've rostered him where I can, and I never gave up on him. I've just been waiting, and he's really heated up. He had that double dong game on Sunday. Wilyer Abreu did. The guy can play. The guy can play ball. Right. So I think this is a fine call, and does it match exactly what we're looking for? Well, we're looking for somebody who's going to really, really take the last 2 months of the season by the balls here. So that's what Abreu could do. I mean, I believe in that. He hits the ball with authority. He's got a good plate discipline skill set, which will get better. He's not the apex of where that skill set will be just yet. Abreu isn't there. It's 28% K rate, which is, it's tolerable, right?
Yeah, not great. I like to see him improve it a little bit. But his walk rate's decent, and again, he's got pop. So, and he's been hitting some dingers. So, I'm not saying he's going to be to the astronomical. I don't think anybody's going to go on that run like Aquino did, but he's my pick just off the top of my head. That was a guy that I really, really wanted to mention, not just for this bit, but also, like I said, rest of the season. I think he has a lot of value in all leagues, not just deeper leagues and shallow formats as well.
And he hits out of the 2-hole in Boston's lineup. That's a good place to be. Yep. And you look at the last couple of weeks here, he's been hot. Last month, solid. So my only concern is that he already got going here, and he might fade for September. That's my only worry. But otherwise, it's a great pick.
Yep.
And I want him to go. I want to throw out these. By the way, Joe wants to know, what's the wife-in-waiting Patreon price point? That's a good question, Joe. Technically, there is no wife-in-waiting. That's what I call my wife, because legally we are married, but we still haven't had our ceremony and officially done it right. So I call Leanne my wife-in-waiting, and I'm her husband-in-waiting. It's a little joke we got there. Great job, Joe. Elliot Ramos or James Wood? This go back to the beginning of the show? Are you just copy and pasting? Or do you really believe this? Because it's not a bad call. Hey, keep your eyes on the road. This is the Palazzo Podcast. We'll be right back after these pointless messages.
I think both those are fine calls as well. Yeah, Ramos has already kind of been on that really since the All-Star break, or a little bit before the All-Star break. So, and Wood is starting to pick it up as well. So I could see James Wood going on an absolute heater. Nationals don't have anything to play for. They got rid of some guys. It's his gig. He's arguably been one of the better, if not best, hitting prospect to come up this year so far, at least. We've seen guys like Holiday and Mayo struggle. So I like that call with James Wood a lot. That was one of my picks before we started talking about this. But Elliot Ramos, for me, I don't know if he qualifies yet because he's already been doing it. So Wood I like a lot. And we talked about Abreu, but I'm interested to hear what the man, the myth, the legend says here. Go. Who's your guy? Who you going with?
Well, I've I thought I had a bunch of Coming to America drops, but apparently I got a lot of raw audio and I haven't put them into proper. I got to trim them down and isolate them. So we'll get more of that next week, everybody. I know this is such a big hit here in the live chat, and I hate letting down an opportunity like that. But I did add this, by the way, for what's his face, who wanted the home run sounders. There you go, buddy. That's just for you.
I love that.
Is that fun?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, look at this is Ben Chase is here, everybody.
Hey,
Ben.
What's up, Ben?
How you doing?
How we doing, guys?
Hey, we're doing good.
Good. We're doing a show.
I'm happy. I'm happier now that you're here.
I thought that I would hop in and join since we're getting into a fun topic. So
Yeah.
Well, do you have a nominee, Ben?
I do, and I think it might make my boy Mike a little bit sad because I've been watching the last few games of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, and Connor Nordby's been playing a very solid third base, which is a big hole that they have in Miami. And he's not cranked one out yet, and he's still striking out about half of the time he comes up to the plate, but he's hitting the ball hard every time. And like I said, he's playing a solid third base. I don't see a reason why they don't bring him up very soon, because they had to send him back down once they acquired him because the Orioles had called him up. So
Right.
he's the one that makes a lot of sense to me.
What about the kid they got from Arizona too? Like that's a guy that can crank him out too, right?
De
Like,
Los
he's a guy that
Santos
might-
is another
yeah.
one. I struggle with, and not to call out Govier or anything, but that's something I really struggle with Del Castillo as well. Is that Reno is probably the most hitter friendly park in all of the minor leagues, and
Oh boy.
Amarillo, their AA park, is probably a top 5. I mean, it's about the only non-PCL park you'll find in the most hitter-friendly parks in the minors. And that's where Davison has been all year long, is those two parks. So, but the power's there as long as they bring him up and put him at first or DH, because those are his best defensive positions. I think that makes a lot of sense as a possibility. So
There you go.
Oh, wow. Well, we'll see what happens there. Life can be challenging. Everybody knows that. You're watching Palazzo Podcast Live. Benjamin Chase is here. Follow him on Twitter at BigGentleBen. And, of course, he's in the Discord, which is free, and that's in our description of every show. It's very easy to find the link. Eddie says, I have a few guys in mind, but I'm worried some of my league members will see who I am going after Sunday night on the free agent wire. Do you really think they're watching this obsessively? That's fascinating. I don't know.
Hey, you know what? Real quick on that, Eddie, if it means that, take one for the team. You got $1,000 leagues that you're playing in, all right? If you tell your league mates to watch and subscribe to this channel, and you have to lose out on a player, for me that's worth it. You know what I mean? Like that's a good trade off.
Okay. Doesn't it have to be Tyler Fitzgerald? Well, he already got on a roll. I'm looking for people that are heating up in August. I am, but I think by September Fitzgerald will be cooled down. I really do. He has to slow down, doesn't he?
One would think. I mean, I don't know if this pace is sustainable, but
well, and another option you have there is maybe Marco Luciano takes the position from him because he goes on a heater.
ooh, I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
I like where your head's at. That makes a lot of sense. If that happens, then that is a guy who should be added to the list. Breaking news.
Genius!
Look, by the way, somebody here was really happy with one of my boys, Xavier Edwards. Picked him up on all 3 teams 2 weeks ago. I'm loving it, says Steve Anders. Hell yeah, Steve. That's what I'm talking about. Xavier Edwards is a guy that sat on my Dynasty minor league bench for about 2 years on a team specifically. And he came up once, and it was nothing, like a year ago. He went back down. And I'm like, oh, this guy, I should just drop this guy outright. But I didn't. I held on to him. And now, I'm really glad I did that because Xavier Edwards is awesome. He's been on our main event team, too. I picked him up about a month ago on the main event team. And he's filled in nicely, picking up our offense. And It's a lot of fun. Xavier Edwards is definitely like one of my guys now. I'm a huge fan of him, but I don't know if he's Eugenio Suarez good, because Joe says, how about the corpse of Eugenio Suarez? Now, Eugenio's a veteran, but yeah, I mean, he's hitting dongs. He got hot in July, I believe, right?
Yeah, he got hot.
What do you guys think? Eugenio Suarez?
No, I don't think it's sustainable. I think he'll have his stretches where he went on like what we just recently saw from him. But rest of season, I don't know if he's a guy who's going to be helping many teams out with. But that's just me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of. In fact, I kind of thought, and this is one of the guys who I think is still the rest of the year going to get some time. I thought Andre Chaparro might come up and steal some time in Arizona at third base, and they ended up trading him to the Nationals, and I think that he's got a chance there too, because, well, frankly, that team also has third base issues, and so be a good spot for him to get some time. But that's more of a hit over power type of guy. You're not going to get a whole lot of bombs out of him or anything.
Is it nap time at the house, Ben? You sound quiet. You sound like you're very.
No,
it's the peaceful reflection hour.
I'm trying to. My headphones didn't want to work. I was going to join you guys a little earlier, and my headphones. So I finally found a plug-in pair into my mic, which is why I was echoing earlier, because I realized that I hadn't shut off the sound on my computer, and so I got that figured out. But now I'm trying to listen to see how loud the jumping from the daycare upstairs is right now, because that's what's going on up above me.
I haven't heard anything.
So yeah, I'm
you're good.
Kind of quietly trying to make sure that it's not. Well, that or else maybe I'm just trying to go off of the whole ASMR vibe we had going on earlier. And, try and give you a nice, quiet voice.
Hey,
wait a minute. Is that Ben Chase or Governor Waltz?
Well, we have been in the same room together before, so there is the possibility.
Yeah. High roller, Benjamin Chase here on the Bluffton Podcast, 202Zs. Ben, do you think that De Los Santos is a drop? Well, where? But regardless, is he a drop in redraft?
No, I mean, if you're holding on to him, I do think if we're talking long term, I don't want De Los Santos, but I think you can. We're talking about an Aquino fit. Aquino was a guy who for a month, 2 months, was a stud for your lineup. I think that's what you've got possibly with De Los Santos, is he could come up and, quite frankly, I bring this up to a lot of people. Does anyone still remember now when Austin Riley first came up to the major leagues?
Yep.
He had made very few adjustments through the minor leagues because he didn't need to. He could punish a lot of baseballs, but he wasn't adjusting to high velocity up in the zone, and he wasn't really laying off of off-speed stuff low and outside. And he got eaten alive his second month in the league. Second go-round in the league, if you want to put it that way. He had about a 45-day stretch where he was a stud and was hitting 7 home runs a week. It was just nuts.
Yeah.
And then, he just didn't adjust. He went through about another month or 2 month stretch where it was really rough. I think it's a very, very different hitter. Riley is a guy who then realized he needed to work, happened to have Chipper Jones, who loves to come and visit the team, come and spend a whole bunch of time with him on, this is what you need to do in the box and yada, 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 and made the adjustments. I don't know if that's what De Los Santos can do, but I could absolutely see De Los Santos going that kind of a run offensively.
There you go. Lock that in.
Well, that's what I'm worried about.
See? People are worried. It's a real concern. And Eddie's worried because he has him. Mm-hmm. Thanks, Mike. Okay, so we speed this along here, and we're going to wrap up the show shortly, actually. We're not going to do 2 hours today. We like to just give you what we got, and we get in, we get out, we get on with our lives. Burger King, right? Is that Burger King? Right. I can't remember what that is.
I don't know.
Eddie says, I'm willing to do that for the Palazzo Group. Yeah, sign up for the Patreon, buddy. We'd love to have you. You're a nice boy. We appreciate that. Steve says, Aquino batted 190 with 10 homers last year. No, this is for 2019. The 2019 Aristides Aquino debut. Yeah. Go back to that time.
Yeah, not
Just in
not
case.
That, not
Although
last-
he is hitting he has like a 950 OPS in the Mexican League, so maybe we're talking about that version. I don't know.
Oh.
Tales from the crypt.
Wow, that was the wrong button. Remember that guy? That guy's hilarious. Look how insane this laugh sound.
Tales from the crypt.
I used to watch this when I was like 10 years old, and it was very not appropriate.
Very freaky.
Mike VA, this one's for you. I'm sorry about this, but I'm not sure if your buddy John Singleton is going to hold on to the job in Houston. Does Dak DeCenzo, no relation to Doug DeCensis, which is spelled differently anyway, so that doesn't matter. Or Shea Whitcomb take over at first base. Mike.
I'm going to be 100% honest. This is probably a question for Ben than me. I don't know who either of these guys are, but
But what about John Singleton?
I love John. I think he's a good dude. And I think he's actually had a really decent season. I think this has been his best season yet with Houston. So maybe they give him a little bit longer leash in hopes that his trajectory keeps coming up. But Ben, you're the guy. Did you ever take a look at John Singleton coming up through the minors, or even when he was drafted?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was crazy that Houston gave him the contract they did when they did, because even though he was a fairly highly rated prospect, I just didn't see power coming out of that profile. I thought he might turn into a guy who someday could hit 280 with 20 home runs, but I really didn't see big average or big power out of him. And, he's had, for what they were getting at first base, he's actually been an upgrade, which is really sad to say.
Yeah, really sad.
I like DeCenzo, Ben. Did you post in the Discord the other day that you like DeCenzo?
Yeah, and he got called up. I think he's a guy who's he's not a zero at third base, and Alex Bregman is gone after this year, so something to keep note of. But DeCenzo's he's got like 1,000 OPS since he's been healthy. He's just was not healthy all year, and so he's been off of our radars. And I think he would have taken the spot that Joey Loporfido had been taking, and other guys like that over this year so far. I think he would end up coming back, or he would have been that first base guy. But I could absolutely see DeCenzo and Singleton working in a platoon the rest of the year.
Interesting.
Because that would allow, because Singleton has just been horrible against same side pitching.
Yeah.
And, you'd be able to potentially ease a guy in going only against oppo pitching. That's probably a good way to go.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there we go.
I thought so.
Oh, look at this. What about Trenton Casas, says Ryan Quinn, who supposedly might be back. Tristan Casas might be back next week, or Paul Goldschmidt.
Goldie
Goldschmidt,
keeps
no.
having like 2-week-long stretches, and then he'll go through another 2-week-long on the other side. Unfortunately, I think he's at that point in his career where he's 37 or 36, and this is what we're going to get.
It was fun. It was fun for Goldie.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, I think he's going to probably end up being just on the outside of the Hall of Fame, because if this would have come one more season later, he would have been able to put up Hall of Fame type numbers, but going to end up just a hair short, I think.
Yeah, you're
I
right.
think so too. That's a good call.
Poor
I
Paul
don't know.
Goldschmidt.
I don't know about Casas either. If he was healthy, I like this call. But from everything that I've read with him, and every time he swings a bat, he's still hitting, mind you, he's still playing.
Mm-hmm.
But everything that I've read with him, and every time he swings, it feels like somebody's quote unquote stabbing him in the ribs. I don't know.
Don't be that guy.
I think that's going to zap his power. I'm not saying he won't hit for any home runs, but to fit this segment and what we're doing, I don't know if that's going to be the case. Maybe some of those home runs are more doubles.
Why would Boston hurry this right now?
Exactly.
With Dom Smith actually playing well.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly
for like about the second time in his career, Dom Smith is playing really well right now.
Maybe Dom Smith's the guy.
Yeah, I think. Well, I don't know if he's got that in him, but I think he can be a consistent guy that doesn't hurt the Red Sox the rest of the way, and that's kind of all they really need out of first base.
Whatever, motherfucker!
Hey!
Whoa!
Hey, now,
don't be so rude. Jeez, man, what a prick.
You get that kind of language around here, you're going to have big kids crying, so you got to watch out.
Good thing the
And
kids
he
are
says,
upstairs.
the Hall of Fame is a business, and they're letting in accumulators now just to have a ceremony every summer. Goldschmidt will get in. Oh, well, I
think he's out.
That is funny. Hey, Davey Funnels here. What's up, Dave?
Hey, Dave.
Dave on Twitter. Dave is the injury guru, the overall overlord of injuries. If there's an injury, he's got the latest on it. He's really putting that together for you nice and tight. Paul Goldschmidt is turning 2023 Jose Abreu. And he may already be there.
I don't know if he's that bad.
He's got 17 dongs. It's not a lost cause.
In all seriousness, Abreu in 23 ended the year really, really well. And started off horrifically, which is kind of what Goldschmidt did this year. So, that may not be that off of a comparison.
I hate Jose Abreu, so that's just that was just the reason why I said no.
I love him. He's a sweet man. I hear he's a hell of a lover too. I really do. Got Will Schmidt. I got Will Smith, and Will Schmidt went to LSU. Got Will Smith and Adley Rutschman. Help propel me to first place early season, but now they're killing me. Not sure what to do. No one is willing to trade me. Well, it's Adley Rutschman. You just stuck. It doesn't matter how small your league is. You're never dropping him.
I don't know if it's the same, if you have the same Twitter handle, Yui, but did you hit me up on Twitter asking me this question? Because this sounds eerily familiar, and I said, wait, are you asking me if you can drop Adley? And I think he kind of gave me like an emoji or something. I was like, no, you can't drop Adley Rutschman or Will Smith. You're stuck with them. You can't drop them. And even if nobody's taking them off trades, you're stuck with them. You got to roll with them. Is this a 2-catcher league, though, or is this one? Because
good point.
That's another thing, too. But you're still holding them regardless, both of them.
Yeah, they're too good. Adam Lee, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Make sure you subscribe and like. As always, we're trying to get to 1,000 subs. Yoshida, Garrett Mitchell, Wallner are perking up. Wallner...
only issue with Wallner is he's going to be completely a platoon guy. But that team loves working the platoons because right now they basically have a platoon outfield. You have Kepler, Larnach, and Wallner that all come in and face just the righties. So, I mean, it completely changes their lineup every time they have a righty, especially a righty or a crap lefty. He and Larnach have kind of been getting trade-off at bats against crap lefties, and depending on how you want to label that. But
we haven't talked about Yoshida at all much this season, Mike. We really haven't. And
I'm not necessarily sold on him. I know he's been playing well, but like, do you guys remember earlier on in the season, like he had like a lot of issues with Boston for like not playing him? Do you guys remember that? Like it was the first quarter of the season or something like that.
He also got hurt.
Yeah. And he's been good over the past month. I mean, he's hitting .333, but he's only got 3 home runs. I mean, he'll give you hits, he'll give you a solid average, solid floor. But again, I don't know if he fits this bill here. Wallner hits the shit out of the ball, but like Ben said, he just is too much of a platoon guy. But I said, Will, you're Abreu, Ben. I don't know if you caught that or not, but that was my pick. Another guy I like that I want to add into this mix. Vinny Pasquantino, have you guys seen what he's been doing over the past month? He's been crushing the hell out of the baseball.
I've been loving having him on some fantasy teams. The last couple. I mean, he's been not bad all year, but not great all year, and he's
great now.
Carrying the offense right now.
Yep. So. He's been so much fun to watch, and a guy that I was pulling for, even when he got hurt, I thought it was a terrible injury. I had a lot of shares of Pasquantino. I think I have 1 or 2 actually now this and out of my leagues, and I've been loving it, Ben. So I think that's a guy too that could really tap into the power and really carry Kansas City heading into the postseason. There, I like Pasquantino a lot. I probably like him more than I did Abreu. But what do you think, Gove? I see you. I see you over there. Do you like that call? You like Pasquantino?
Am I on the show?
Yeah.
Oh no!
I have Pasquantino on the main event team again, which is a big money league, 15-team Roto 5x5. We had him all year. We never gave up on him, and now it's great that he's been in the lineup all season. So I've just whatever his final stats are will be what we get from him. It's been hard to ever bench him for us in a 15-teamer, and I'm just happy he's on fire now. And I love him. I think he's a fantastic hitter, and the best is yet to come. I'm ready to party. Let's party.
Hey.
Vinny P style. Oh. Eddie says, I'm going after Jordan Walker for $4 or less in my 2025 auction. I can see Arenado moved in the offseason to open up a spot for Walker to...
I don't know if he
Keep
plays
trying.
third base.
I was just gonna say I was gonna look that up here quick.
Be careful.
Yeah, I don't know if he plays
That's-
third base when he comes up. Anyways, I think he'll be in the outfield, but that's just me.
Well, Eddie's calling a shot now.
Yeah,
I can see the Dodgers taking Arenado just with little money and no real prospects back. Okay. Well, you called your shot, Eddie. You're on the record.
Played entirely right field and some DH this year.
Oh, okay.
So
It's not him, apparently, Mike.
All right,
No,
good,
I'm not
good,
on
good,
Twitter. It's a single catcher league. So, okay.
Gotcha.
All right. Any more potential Aquinos for 2024? Yeah, I got to go. I haven't gone yet. So let me throw out a name for you. I'm going to give you this guy who I fell in love with a couple years ago. He really hurt my feelings last year, and I had to go into a deep depression to come out the other side.
Matt McClain.
No, I mean, you can't take it that seriously. So, wait, who, Mike?
Matt McClain.
No, he's lost cause now. I'm dropping him everywhere for redraft, sadly. I think in the leagues I had him, I had middle infielders already anyway, so I'm like, even if he comes back, I don't need him. I moved on. But not in a keeper league, of course. He's on my bench, and he'll be one of my 8 keepers for next year in a head-to-head 14-teamer. I'm going to go with Alejandro Kirk. Alejandro Kirk has a spot opened up for him. Now that Danny Jansen's moved to Boston, it's his show, and he seems to be healthy now. There's nothing to play for. There's a low-pressure situation rest of the season for Toronto. He's been hitting the ball pretty good, and it's his show until the season's over. Now, I'm not saying that he might deliver the same amount of power that Aquino delivered or Rhys Hoskins in 2017, but this is a guy that I think always had potential. This is a guy who had a 370-ish OBP 2 years ago, I believe, in a chunk of the season, a legit season. That's good. For a catcher, that's great.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Alejandro Kirk. That's my choice for Aristides Aquino nominee for 2024.
I was just going to pull this up here. I think over about the last 30 days, I have him in a league where I have been really struggling with him or William Contreras lately. So that just kind of tells you how well he has been playing since All-Star break here. 326, 367, 442. That's
not too shabby.
Not going to hurt you. But yeah, I mean, so far this month, yeah, definitely he's got a hit every month or every day this month so far. If I could talk, that'd be great. And he's hitting 412 in August so far. So
yeah, so this is truly an example of it. Look, disregard these season-long numbers. I'm talking from now till the season's over. I'm really shooting for the stars to have a closeout run.
Mm-hmm.
Alejandro, he's like a little bowling ball too. Have you guys ever watch him run?
Look at these numbers.
Well,
5'8", 265.
265, and I think those are actual legit. I mean, it might even be a little light on the weight. I'm just saying, So
for real. That's why I was worried about him being a catcher. There's no way he could hold that weight as a catcher for his career. He's a classic DH in the end.
I don't know if you just said this, Gov, so I apologize. But this dude's hitting 452 over the last 2 weeks. Did you guys know that? 14 for 31. Yeah. He's hitting the shit out of the ball.
Yeah. Fireworks. He's been on my, one of the things I never talk about this show, I'm just the worst promoter. I don't know. I got this thing in my head, like, I don't want to be selfish. I'm too Swedish, like, just being too humble. Got to promote shit to get shit done in this country. And every Sunday I post all of my fab leagues, which is like at least 6 or 7 of them, who I'm adding, who I'm dropping, who I'm targeting. I have a whole list of players that I'm targeting, and you get all of that on the Patreon on Sunday nights. It's a great resource because I'm giving you, instead of trying to tell you everything in a show, you just get to see it on paper. So that's something I think just for that alone, for the rest of season fantasy baseball, is definitely worth a $3 offering. It's good stuff. So I've had Kirk on that list for at least the last 2 weeks, if not 3.
Now your Kirk love makes sense. You kind of derf to derf with the Kirk.
That's right. I love it. I love it. Great call, Govier. Thank you, Eddie. Of course, I never make non-great calls. They're all correct all the time, right? I mean, wasn't I the guy who said that Davis Daniel would be a X factor? I said that. I did. So that was wrong. Although he did have a nice start when he got called back up. I don't know. He's still not terrible necessarily, but David Festa's awesome. Great call, Govier. Picked him up Sunday night. Kirk for $1. Great. That's Dude, that's awesome. That's all you can ever ask for. E-Week says, what about Fitzgerald? We already covered Fitzgerald, brought him up. Ben, any hitters or pitchers in Double-A that could contribute for redraft rest of the season, that just off the top of your head, maybe?
Well, if they are playing in Double-A for the Angels, then you should know who they are, because the Angels don't promote anyone from Triple-A. So, Caden,
do you think Moore will maybe get called up? Maybe
that's going to be an interesting one. But I mean, in all seriousness, since he came into professional baseball, Moore has led the minor leagues in average exit velocity. So he's not just like having luck. He's hitting the crap out of baseballs right now. And they might try to take advantage of that and bring him up toward the rest of the season. I don't know. But for sure, if you're needing pitching help, I'd look at Caden Dana, because I think right now he is underrated by the industry, and he has had an amazing year in Double-A, and I think they're going to give him a shot toward the end of the year here. But for sure, that's the spot to look, just off the top of my head, to think about guys, because I'd have to look at it a little bit deeper just to see who's there in Double-A. But
okay. Mike, do you have any more nominees?
I originally had Zach Neto. Somebody else brought him up in the chat as well. He's the quietest 2020 candidate I think I've seen in recent years, and he's been unreal the past month too. So even Nolan Shanwell has been playing well too, and from the leadoff spot. Scoring a lot of runs too. The Angels have, I mean, if these guys continue to develop, they got a promising couple guys to build around there.
Now, if they just had an outfielder.
Man, man, you just can't get your break these days.
But I like what Neto's doing, and I like also what Shanwell's doing too. Those are guys I really like. I can't quit either one of them. Neto for me and Ben, from everything that I read with Neto too, like he's not really known for the pop though, right? And he's been hitting some home runs too. So like he's going to finish with 20 home runs when it's all said and done. You think that's going to be an outlier for him, or is that something you think that he can continue to develop as he progresses through professional baseball?
I think that this might be his top end, but it's not an out of range top end. It's one where he might be able to get to it for a couple years. Neto, to me, was always... Neto and Brooks Lee had almost the exact same scouting report coming out of college. Type of guys that probably are going to max out at 20 to 25 home runs, probably aren't going to steal you more than 20 to 25 bases, but gosh darn it, can they make excellent contact. And that's,
I was going to say,
it's come through, and that's really exactly what he's turned into. So,
Give me back my son!
Oh my God, thank you. Thank you for adding that.
I don't know how to fit it in the show. It doesn't really fit anywhere, but I promised you that I would get this for this week. So.
Oh my God, thank you.
There you go.
For those of you guys who don't know, that is from the movie Ransom with
this guy.
Give me back my son!
Come on.
Don't say Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm having a brain fart. I was probably because I'm tired.
Possible anti-Semite Mel Gibson. Possible, I'm saying. I'm not saying officially. I'm just saying possible as a Jew. I've heard some things. So.
Give me back my son!
All right, Eddie. Yeah, Monday night will be on. Eddie, you can get some more information on some. Maybe we'll throw out some more prospects that might be able to. Maybe we'll do that, Ben. Maybe we throw out like a few AA or AAA prospects that might get a taste and help out rest of the season.
That actually sounds like a really good theme for the Monday show.
Not named Junior Caminero.
Right. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Although I like him.
Wow, dude.
I guarantee you Monday that'll come up though, Ben. When you guys start talking about it, you'll get
absolutely.
Joe, I don't know when we're getting Battlefield Earth drops. Yeah, we did Battlefield Earth on Cinema 9 for our 200th episode. Maybe the most disrespected movie of all time. The lowest rated on IMDb. For those of you that check out IMDb, it has a rating of 2.9. I've never seen a rating that low on like a legit movie that was put out with a real budget. So that was a lot of fun, Joe. Yeah, I'll get on those. Don't worry. Although the visuals in Battlefield Earth are a little bit funnier maybe than the audio, although they do say man animal a lot, which is funny. Man animals, man animals.
I think
John
Eddie
Travolta's
mentioned Vision Quest earlier, and there's
Oh, yeah.
awesome quotes from that movie.
Oh, okay. I got to write this down. More work to do. I love doing work for the show.
Better Galaxy Quest too.
Galaxy Quest is great.
That's got
We did that on Cinema 9 about a year and a half or 2 years ago. Eddie says, I was 247 pounds 2 years ago and stand only 5'7". So I was built like Kirk. Lost 65 pounds since then through keto and intermittent fasting. Mike, I like that, don't you, man?
I do. I'm not a diet guy, though.
Diet guy?
I hate diets. So I hate.
Is that
intermittent
dieting,
fasting.
though?
Yes.
You hate intermittent fasting?
I hate intermittent fasting and I hate keto.
Why?
They all work the exact same way. It's a cult in the nutrition industry. Everybody gravitates towards one or the other that says, no, intermittent fasting is the way to go. No, keto is the way to go. They all work through the same energy systems. It's just creating a caloric deficit. How you get there is irrelevant. So, and it's not sustainable. So that's also why I hate it.
Wow, finally. That was the most truthful thing with the most conviction you've ever said on this show, and I'm really happy you did that. My man. Did I go back to you, Mike? Did you throw out another nominee, or did I?
Yeah, Neto.
Yeah, okay, right. Ben, you got anybody else you'd like to throw out there?
Not off the top of my head, no. I wanted to make sure I come in and talked about some Nordby because I think he's definitely going to be
I hope you're right. I love Connor Norby. Even though he's not with us anymore, I hope he kills it in Miami. Do you think he's long-term he projects at third base?
This is Mike for Connor Norby.
Give me back my son!
Yes, thank you.
There we go.
Give me back my son.
Wants him back.
No,
Give me back Norby!
He's looked really comfortable there. I will say he's not had anything that's close to a challenging throw. And actually, I just want to bring up another Sound Money one there. The Edgardo Enriquez call-up. If you're looking to speculate on strikeouts from a reliever, that's a Dodgers prospect right now. And AAA, I believe. But he's, touching 103, 104 on the radar gun and actually has strikeout stuff unlike, Bruce Dargett or all. But
of course, he's not in the Yahoo player database.
Of course. I mean, we wouldn't do things like that. But but he's going to be a guy that I could see them running the crap out of him at the end of the season. But that's not a guy that's really, truly going to impact your league. Just saying. But no, he's one that's a good call out. But yeah, no, I loved the responses that Nordby had at third. He's quick on the, when he had balls hit to him, good first step, all that sort of stuff, which is what you really need at the hot corner. I'd love to see whether or not his arm is quite up to par there, and I didn't see any plays that tested that.
In relation to Norby, I want to throw this at you, Ben. What do you think of this guy?
Jonah Bride?
Freaking Braves killer is what he is, You know
all the Braves killers, of course.
No, and he seriously went through like the series against the Braves, and I think he had a home run every game during that series or something like that. So it's kind of ridiculous that I think he's had 3 home runs, and I think all 3 of them were this last series against the Braves.
He's playing every day in the Marlins lineup, every day, and he's hitting cleanup. And
he's a very good contact guy, and not bad with the glove. I just think he's not a long-term answer. And if they think Nordby's that long-term answer at third, Bride's unfortunately just a guy, and they're not going for anything this year, and it's very feasible that they kind of have him play around second base, third base, first base, wherever they need a fill in. And he goes to that role, and they bring up Norby and give him every day at bats.
Hey, okay. Can I make another request for the soundboard?
Of course.
Did you see, because Ben just brought it up, but he's just a guy. Do you guys remember in Superbad when Jonah Hill's character gets hit by a car, and they look at him? Look at him. He's like, what? He looks like a guy. I don't know why that sticks out to me. But he's sitting there with his hands on his knees and be like, hey, are you Jimmy's brother? You remind me of Jimmy's brother.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but he
Yeah,
says
you
it, I'm just
totally look like his brother.
Yeah, but then he says before that, because they're talking about him, they're like, he looks kind of sketchy, man. He's like, what? He looks like a guy. That's what guys do. And he's sitting there all creepy, you know.
Yeah.
I'm on the job. That's what I do here. I love request. That's what I live for. I don't know. I have a sick fetish for it. What can I say? But Bride's a guy I brought up. I'm just a guy that I've looked at last year. I was looking more at OBP leagues because he could draw walks and get on base. But the power, if he doesn't have the power, then he can't qualify for this award. And I understand that. But I'm just saying he's in the lineup every day right now, and they seem to want to force this to maybe, I don't know, see if he's got something. So that could end tomorrow, possibly.
If you're looking at Juicy Orange right now, he's in the lineup. So
what about Jake Berger, though?
Oh, well, that's obvious. He's already too hot. He's too hot already. I'm disqualifying because he's too hot. That's it.
Yeah.
No, I can't do that. You're right. Jake Berger's a great choice. He's going to crush the baseballs the rest of the season. This is what he does. He goes on 2-month streaks, 6-week streaks of absolute power and then does nothing for you, and that's part of the problem. So if you can wait it out all season in a head-to-head situation, it's more useful, I guess, because you can win weeks. But for Roto, it's kind of a drag. So.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Ben wanted that one. I've had that one. I don't know if I cut it or not, but I've downloaded that weeks ago, I believe.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
There it is. Yeah, I knew I had it. I knew I had that one.
I was going to say, I've made that request on the minor league show, so or on the prospect show. So
I knew I had it. FYI says Davey Funnel. Make sure you guys follow Davey Funnel on Twitter. How many times do I have to tell you this? He works at Fantrax. He knows what he's doing. Injuries. Follow him. Type in the name and get it done. He's got a complicated handle that I'm not going to repeat. Sports Nuts with the Z_51. Austin Hayes to the IL. Damn it. Austin Hayes to the IL. That sucks. Trevor Story taking BP on Monday. Matt McClain had a setback and won't start rehab on Monday. There you go. Quick little injury update from our guy. Also, eWeek 2K says that's fully confirmed about Gibson. Glenn Ford in the original was better, though. Oh, Ransom was a remake? I didn't know that. I really didn't. The truth is that the New York Yankees are into intermittent fasting and keto, says Joe Larry.
And we know why we hate them.
That's hilarious. And then, these eyes, that's right, cry every night for you. Super bad, classic. Oh, I believe in intermittent keto. Uh-oh.
That'll probably be a thing. I promise you. At some point, somebody will probably come up with some stupid shit like that and say, "This is the real thing. You guys should give it a shot. It's superior."
Adam Lee says Friedel, McCarthy, and Kiebert are sneaky good right now. Britain would approve of. No, Britain's Friedel is first rights to Britain, though.
Yes,
just like in Braveheart. Remember Prima Nocta, where the British had first rights to sleep with a brand new wife, which was the most insane thing I think I've ever seen. So that's not cool. But what is cool is that TJ Friedel's playing well and he's giving you fantasy stats. And he's had 2 injuries this year that have really set him back. Will he have a third? Maybe. But Jake McCarthy's a guy who doesn't hit for power, but he's hitting for excellent batting average and stealing bases, and he's in that lineup pretty regularly, more than some of the other platoon guys, it seems. So, I don't know. That's fun. Good stuff. Ma, the meatloaf! Oh, my God. You guys are on fire right now. So many more of these. I got to write all these down. A couple more I want to give, and then we're going to wrap the show up. I wanted to throw out another name, and, I was thinking this over. I didn't know if it would fly or not because, there was guys I was thinking about, like Santiago Espinal. He heated up a little bit last week, but then he sat too many times this week, so I couldn't use him. I am thinking maybe Jake Fraley could fit in this situation. I know that he platoons as well, so maybe certain weeks, like the week before this week, he sat a lot, but this week he's playing a lot. But he can do it all. He's always had the excellent skill set. He just gets hurt, and he gets platooned. And the Reds have so many guys there. They brought Ty France in and Candelario.
Back.
Yeah, we'll see if he comes back. We'll see.
You think? You don't think he's back this year?
I honestly don't know now. I really thought he would. I was convinced he would be back in August, and now I don't know. So I'm going to go. How about Alex Call? Does he qualify for this list?
Yeah, he can qualify. He's like a makeshift version of Lane Thomas. I think he's a guy that can take over that spot. I think it's a decent. I think that's a decent call, Mr. Gobi.
Hey, no one's ever said that.
Give me back my son!
How about Michael Conforto?
Yes.
Ooh.
I like that one too. Michael
Okay.
Conforto's been hitting the shit out of the ball too recently. The Giants are a sneaky good team if they can get if Snell keeps pitching this way, Robbie Ray continues to pitch well. The Giants could be a team that sneaks into the playoffs and goes one of those towards postseason runs. You never know.
Conforto sits out a year, gets back into baseball last year, right? And now this is the second year post. So maybe he's finally back on track, right? I could see that.
Yep.
I don't know if they call Conforto Blue or not, but he's your boy. So
yeah,
that's a good call. I like that. But I think Alex Call, now that the Winker trade got made and they cleaned house a bit there, got rid of Lane Thomas, Winker and Thomas were obviously sucking up playing time for the Nats. Now Alex Call can play ball until fall.
Oh, gosh.
And I doubt that he will stall.
Cruz. No, wait.
Because there is a great potential that he'll be having a ball.
and he doesn't have to worry about David Dahl.
Hey! On the Phillies, but I'll let it slide. Well done. I like where your head's at. So, yeah, I think Alex Call is interesting. Power-wise, maybe that's... Again, maybe I'm bringing up too many guys who are not giving enough power here. Maybe that's not fair, but... Playing time, production, otherwise...
Here's the thing with the Aquino thing, like everyone remembers the power thing, but what if he goes on this torrid stretch where he just either steals a lot of bases and goes through a lot of home runs or a lot of hits or runs, whatever it may be.
Sure.
So we can kind of pivot from that angle on what this bid is about. Like, who's a guy that's going to be on his just torrid pace to finish the season?
And see, I think, Mike and I both have comments in our little name badges here regarding Milwaukee. Jackson Chourio, since about the All-Star break, has been holy crap good. And that's a guy that could go 20-20 the rest of the year, and you'd be like, okay, not saying that I would expect it, but the way he was, he was on everything, and holy crap was he first move gone on stolen bases when he took off.
Nice.
All weekend watching him. He really reads pitchers well for a rookie. So that's a guy that could do some interesting things over the last last couple months here of the season.
Okay, I got another one. This is, again, I'm getting wild with this. How about this? I'm going to bring this name up. Both of you guys, same time. Here it comes. What about this guy?
Joey Bart. All right, now you're getting a little wild for me there, Joe.
Can't believe it?
No, I can't. I don't know, man. I maybe. But I don't have high hopes for him. But well, make your case. Why do you think Joey Bart fits this bill?
Well, he's been cranking the shit out of the ball the last couple of weeks. He's been hitting more and playing more. And if he has the regular playing spot here, and he can make contact enough to drive a lot of dongs over the park at PNC Park and elsewhere, I know that he was a bust as a number 2 overall pick in the MLB draft, but he's playing well right now. So that's really my case, is that he is playing well now. And the question is, can we move past the bias where we've seen him fail? Is there a chance for real growth here? He's hitting the ball fairly hard. He's not striking out too god-awfully. A 10% walk rate. It's not terrible. I know it's only 161 plate appearances. It's really just this latest stretch where he's getting to play more with Pittsburgh, and he's hit several dongs over his last few games. He really has. He hit a home run yesterday, 2 for 5 with a dong, 2 ribbies, and he's had 3 home runs in the last 7 days. Multi-hit games, 3 for 4 games. It's interesting. It's very interesting. Yep.
Hey, can I play my... Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
The sound just went out real quick. I don't know why. Can I play or share my screen and play the He's just a guy?
Yeah, please.
It's a quick...
Right. I love that. Let's see if you can pull this off. I know you can do it.
All right, can you guys see my screen?
Mm-hmm. We can.
All right.
Look at the guy. It's what guys look like.
But it missed the best part because he goes over and he's doing like the little like rocking back and forth thing. All right, we'll get out of that. All right, sorry. Thank you for indulging me.
That's great. Anybody else? Any final nominees here before we close the books on this show?
Not for me.
No.
Oh, what about this? Did you guys already guess DDLS and Elahiris Montero?
Yeah,
Ben, who do we like talking about more, Junior Caminero or DDLS?
Yeah, seriously, there's a question, at least one every week. But
yeah,
let me look this up because Montero has actually been hitting the crap out of the ball.
Yeah,
in the minors recently, but it's also Albuquerque in the PCL.
Yep. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, I know all that PCL stuff too. Real quick, Eddie says, enjoy your weekend, Mike VA. I'll see you in Britain on Sunday, of course. Sunday, 12 noon Eastern, live for the fabulous Waiver Wire live chat show. Ben, I will see you Monday night with Robbie Baseball. Go, I'll be here next Friday. Actually, it'll be me and Ben. Robbie will be out Monday, so it'll be me and Ben Monday night. We'll look forward to seeing you there, Eddie, the sheriff, moseying on down the trail.
So yeah,
Go ahead. Sorry.
I don't know. My issue with Montero is where is he going to play if they bring him up? Because now that they've got some guys kind of healthy, Toglia's hitting the ball. Where are you going to put him? Where are you going to plug him into that lineup? Got, really his positions are covered with Ryan McMahon and Michael Toglia and, well, frankly, when he's actually on the field, Chris Bryant. What do you do with Montero as far as getting him any playing time? Because he is a tremendous defensive liability wherever he plays. So about the only spot that's decent is DH, and Lord knows they want to give as much time as they can at DH to Blackman and Bryant. So, yeah, I just don't know where there's a spot for him to play coming up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's important. That stuff matters. You guys, everybody knows that, right? It's tough. It's real tough. Maybe Austin Slater will be this year's Aquino, Mike.
I hated that.
I
hated that move. I also hated the Eloy Jimenez deal too. I just don't understand either one of those. Even though Jimenez has been hitting relatively well for us since coming over, which has been a pleasant surprise. I just it's almost like Mike Elias goes, okay, let me see here. We got all these guys in the minors. Let's block them with Austin Slater and Eloy Jimenez. It just doesn't make any sense.
He's trying to win he's trying to play real baseball too. It's not ideal for us fantasy players, right?
No,
but
I know.
A couple final nominees. I'm just going to reel them off and not go into detail, but I want you guys to consider these players. If they're available on your waiver wires, please add the following. Please add Luis Garcia Jr. of the Nationals.
Good call.
The guy is really coming into his own. He's been around so long, but he's only 24.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. There's prospect fatigue there, but he has already had a pretty solid season. Now he's picking it up again, so you definitely want to be in business with Luis Garcia Jr. of the Nats, not Luis Garcia, the relief pitcher for the Boston Red Sox. I'm going to throw out Parker Meadows. Parker Meadows could give you some power, some speed, open runway in Detroit with just being a bozo fest. And Ben, what about our guy? Why not Justin Henry Malloy? Why couldn't he be this guy?
Absolutely could. He's had a couple of streaks already this year where he's gone on. And the thing I've been impressed by lately is, especially against left-handed pitching, he's been batting in the top third of the lineup. And so he works over pitchers well, and he's getting put up there in order to draw a lot of pitches. And unfortunately, that means a pretty high strikeout rate. So if you've got a points league, maybe not the best play.
Sure.
But in Roto, yeah, if he's going to get play, and when he does get play, for sure, he's going to be in the upper part of the lineup against lefties. That's a nice spot to be. So,
100%. Maybe it's too obvious, Mike. Jackson Holiday.
Oof. If he's out, is he out there anywhere? That's the only thing.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, yeah. Well, yeah. I think he's taken by now. You're right.
Well, there could be some redress, or maybe not. I don't know. You never know.
I want to throw out one more guy because you talked about him too. Even though I don't really have much faith in this is like my long shot. What about a guy like Joe Adele, where we've seen streaks from him where he's had the power? Like, I could see him finishing the season strong last month of September, cranking out dongs, stealing some bases. Like, that wouldn't be shocking to me.
Well, and frankly, he's already announced, I believe, that this is going to be his last year. So will Kevin Pillar go out with a bang? That would be kind of a fun way to go out, is just to crank the crap out of the ball for the lot, because he had a streak like that just earlier in the year.
Yep.
So
that's fair. That's totally fair. I love that. I'm wondering. Well, no, I can't. I can't go that far. I'll also share the names of maybe Michael Bush. Finished strong. Mm-hmm. He's got the potential. He's got the talent. Right.
Yep.
Another guy hitting high in the lineup. So that's
exactly
a positive thing.
I know, Ben, you mentioned him. Orlando Arcia has been on a roll for Atlanta. I don't know if he'll sustain it enough rest of season, but he has streaks where he does stuff like he's doing now.
Yeah, Braves fans are about ready for a shortstop that actually hits consistently after living through Swanson and now Arcia going up and down like freaking peak, Everest peaks and Grand Canyon valleys. That's kind of about what you've gotten out of shortstop the last number of years there. But when he's on one, Arcia is a guy you want to play. So
he's old, but Mitch Haniger is playing with Seattle, and Seattle's picking it up. He's playing pretty well recently, so he is striking out plenty as always. But that's a name I'll throw out too, because he's done it in the past. It's just a matter of injuries with Haniger. It always has been, it always will be, and it. Yeah, you guys all know that story. I don't need to repeat that. So there you go. A few more names just to throw out there. You never know. Who knows? Hopefully it'll be someone we named on the show today. If we didn't get the name and it ends up being someone different, then we'll just have to look back and say, man, what were we thinking? How did we miss it? Right?
That's right. Haniger's a call that takes ball.
Oh, boy.
That's right. Exactly. See? That's what I'm talking about, man. This is the kind of show that makes a difference.
Well played, sir. Well played.
All right, there you go. This has been the Palazzo podcast, I believe. It started with Mike and Mike Virginia, Mike Govier, and then Ben joined us, and that's Big Gentle Ben on Twitter. Make sure you follow him there. Jace Young has to be up in September, and they sit Gio Urshela.
Possibly.
Yeah. I would like that. I could totally see that too, Eddie. And he's playing well, Jace Young is. So make sure you follow Mike Virginia @ Mike VA. I am at MJ Govier. The Sunday show will be back in about 48 hours or so. Sunday, 12 noon Eastern. Britt Allen and Mike Virginia covering everything you need to know for the coming week in fantasy baseball. It is a show that you must have as part of your routine. And then join me and Ben Monday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time for the Prospects Power Hour. Good job today, right, everybody? Good show?
Great job.
Yeah. Let's turn it over to the man himself. Thanks, everybody in live chat. You guys made the show awesome, as you always do. That's no BS. You know it's true. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Captain Jack Aubrey will take us out.
Right, lads. Now, I know there's not a faint heart among you. And I know you're as anxious as I am to get into close action. But we must bring him right up beside us before we spring this trap. That will test our nerve. And discipline will count just as much as courage. The Acheron is a tough nut to crack. More than twice our guns, more than twice our numbers. And they will sell their lives dearly. They mean to take us as a prize. And we are worth more to them undamaged. Their greed will be their downfall. England is under threat of invasion. And though we be on the far side of the world, this ship is our home. This ship is England. So it's every hand to his rope or gun, quick's the word and sharp's the action. After all, surprise is on our side.